Hello, welcome to another vlog. What is your healthy way of escaping reality when you get a little bit overwhelmed? I want to show you mine.
It's time for a bike ride.
Life can be stressful and very overwhelming at times. And in those moments, we look for an escape. We tend to think very rapid thoughts of scenarios that might not even happen. And we get stuck into those thoughts, and then it creates bad emotions. And we look for a way to escape those. And there are two ways of escape. The first one is a healthy way, and the second one is the unhealthy way. And usually, people tend to go for the unhealthy way because that's the easier one. It's much easier to grab a bottle of vodka and drink some alcohol to shut off your mind. It's much easier to go smoke some weed. It's much easier to start scrolling on TikTok and disappear into the scroll. I'm sure you know that feeling. Or it's much easier to start playing a video game than, let's say, going to the gym or going editing and focusing so much on editing or focusing so much on programming on one specific activity that your brain shuts off. And this is actually called flow. They have scientifically researched this. There is a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, right? And this is the part of your brain that is responsible for hearing your thoughts, for your thoughts inside your head. It's responsible for the sense of self. It's responsible for the sense of time. And I'm sure you've had this experience many times when you start an activity and it feels like 5 minutes, but then you look up and it's actually been 5 hours or it's been 3 hours, right? We've all been there. TikTok again is a great example of that, how easily time can disappear because you get so sucked in, you get into the flow state and time disappears because the part of your brain that processes time is shut off or very quieted down. There's no blood going in there, there's no oxygen going in there, it's not working. Since we always are going to have the urge, we're always going to try to look for some escape from that stressful reality, especially when it gets too overwhelming. What we can do is train ourselves to go for the healthy option instead of the unhealthy options. And one of the most favorite healthy options for me is going for a bike ride. Right? That's why I wanted to make this video about the flow state and about escaping reality. When I'm on that bike, everything else disappears. It's me and the bike and the trail and the forest and the trees. Nothing else really matters in that moment. And that's the escape we're looking for. But for now, let's get back to the bike ride, and later I'm gonna tell you more about the flow state. I have arrived to the first meeting spot. This is where I'm meeting the first friend. Going all the way to a different city to meet another friend and then have adventures in the forests, on trails. Beautiful day in the end. So let's do this. That is so fascinating to me. I've been interested in this for the past few years and the effects that it has on people. Right? There's this amazing book called Flow by a psychologist who studied happiness, and he found out that this is actually a common thing, that for people who have more flow in their life, they find more happiness in their daily life, they find more meaning, and they are actually seeking out these flow creating activities because it intrinsically motivates people. The feeling of the flow motivates us and gives more of a purpose in life. And that's why a lot of people, a lot of scientists who are into psychology and neuroscience these days recommend finding your flow activity and doing as much of it as you can. For me, it's riding bikes or editing videos or even programming, right? We are looking for that escape. We are looking for that feeling of being so focused in this one on this one task that everything else disappears. And the best part about this is that it gives us superpowers. I mean, quite literally, it gives us superpowers. Because there's such a cocktail of hormones that gets flooded when you enter this kind of state, right? Your consciousness shifts and your body gets flooded with so many hormones, like a big cocktail of hormones. And it causes joy, it causes euphoria, it causes a lot of pain relief, it causes you to get stronger because so many like very strong painkillers get released. And there are so many like fascinating stories of especially extreme sports. If you want to know more about flow, and if it's fascinating you just as it's fascinating me, go check out The Rise of Superman by Steven Kotler. It's an amazing book. You can get it for free on YouTube as an audiobook. I think it's like 8.5 hours. It's a pretty long one. It's kind of a scientific one, but he demonstrates how flow is operating, how flow works in our life, in our brain, using extreme sport athletes, which is, you know, people who ski, people who ski all the crazy mountains, people who snowboard the crazy mountains, people who jump out of planes on a regular basis, people who even meditate very deeply, people who surf huge waves, right? For example, when people are surfing this huge wave, that's a great and amazing flow trigger, because you have to be so focused on that one activity, because if you lose attention for a few seconds, you can die, right? And that's why mountain biking is a great flow trigger as well, because you have to be focused on the trail and what you're riding, and you're moving so fast that you have to see every detail and know every turn and see every jump, because if you don't, you're gonna end up very, like, either dying if the stakes are high or injuring yourself. So I want to invite you in this video to find your own flow trigger, to find your own flow inducing activity. And I'm going to urge you to make it a healthy one, right? Something where you're moving around, or something where you're productive. Don't just start smoking weed because it makes you feel present. Don't just go play games. Don't just scroll on TikTok because your thoughts disappear for a while and you're stuck in the moment, in the scroll, right? Choose a healthy one. Choose a sport. Choose a productive activity. Choose a creative activity. Something like that. And maybe do more research. Watch some of my more videos. I'm definitely gonna talk more about the flow in the future, because I think it's a really important thing to understand for us to live the best life. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.